Chris, I want to just take a few minutes of your time to go through one of the upcoming songs on Volume 1 for the band, This Is Love. And the song I want to ask some questions about was called Out of Bounds. Can you give me an idea what this song is generally about?
I think I was going off to somewhere to do some volunteer work, and I was walking through an area where there was a tremendous amount of homeless individuals, and it really tugged at my heartstrings. And I was looking around trying to figure out, how did this individual end up on the street? And I recall seeing young men and young ladies sitting on the street and just completely lost, and almost as if, well, society had forgotten them. And they, at some point in time, that they were somebody's kid. They were in somebody's home at some point in time, and they had, they woke up to Christmas and opened presents from Santa Claus at some point in time. That they were full of promise and potential. How did they end up here? And that's the question that's being posed in this song here. At the same time, we feel sorry for ourselves sometimes, and that's okay, right? We all need those moments to feel sorry for ourselves. And I, at that time when I wrote this song, I was feeling out of place myself, and I was almost scared because of seeing these homeless individuals. How do I avoid this for myself when I'm personally struggling? Like, how do I not end up in that place? And so the song also was to remind myself of what was important, not to forget those individuals, and to try to do something about it, even though how minimal of a thing that is. It doesn't matter. Trying to do anything, but also to hopefully encourage others, if somebody else heard the song, not to end up in that space as well, because I think it's easier to prevent than to fix afterwards.
Wow. That must have been quite traumatic when you're seeing all this actually happening to people. Question I have is, you sing, I can't see myself in the mirror. What's happening in that part of the song?
Yeah, there's a lot being said there through symbolism and whatnot. I can't see myself in the mirror, and it can relate to many, many things. The person in which you're trying to be, who you want to be. When I look at myself, I just don't see it. And I don't have the confidence. So there's a real lack of confidence in that line. And there was that was a very strong feeling for myself at that age when I wrote this, is that I'm trying to be something better than what I am, and yet I just don't see it.
And another question here, what do you mean when you say, so when you're not out of bounds, listen to those who are? Yeah.
So, listening is so important, and having, I'm a bit of a fixer. And when my wife and I go through our challenges, or with the kids or whatever, I'm the first one to jump in and actually try to fix it. And so does she. She tries to fix things because, we care so much. We want to fix those things. But actually what matters most is just listening. To help someone, actually don't need to do anything. You don't need to say anything. You just need to be there. And that is a powerful thing. People need to get things off their chest, and they need to be able to express it. And words are never enough. And I think that's why I did all this musically. It was because when I was trying to express things in words, it wasn't enough. And some people do it through artwork. Some people do it through a diary. And some people write songs. Some people write poetry. And I think that expression is extremely important. And having an audience just to listen to it, to read it, to view it, is also equally important. In the healing process, in the development process of our character, and becoming who we are, there's so many things that are important, and that's definitely it's definitely one.
When you sing, because they can't tell you how it feels.
You know, and that's a great segue question, because it really does relate to the item that was just said. You know, like, listen to those who are, because they can't tell you how it feels, because they can't. Words are definitely not enough, and they're hesitant to as well too. They're afraid to expose and be transparent, and they're afraid to. A lot of times we know what the answer is. We know what we need to do, and we're afraid of that activity for a lot of different reasons. One, it could be, you know, we just don't want to do that work effort. Okay, fine. But a lot of times is that we're afraid of success more so than failure. And as an individual, as people, you know, it's easier for us to, when we're looking in that mirror, to see the negative versus the positive. And if we do something good or we become something good, we're afraid, are we able to repeat it and do it on a regular basis? And this is part of why some people, some of us, fail, is because of that fear. So they can't explain it. They can't expose it completely. You just have to understand. You have to understand where this person's coming from, what's going on. Don't be judgmental and look at things. Well, you know, you just need to, you know, give yourself a kick and move on. No, there's a lot happening in the background, and a lot of things that they're afraid to say, and afraid to expose, and perhaps might be even traumatic for them. And that's a lot to work through.
Chris, thanks very much for your time today on discussing the song Out of Bounds for This Is Love's first album, Volume 1.
Thank you, Mark.
I'm so lost, and I just in the streets can't find